Yo, what's up? Welcome to Friday Night WrestleCast, very late edition, now going into Saturday due to all these damn issues we were having tonight. But yeah, I am your host, Adam Vale, and tonight I am joined by Richard Bailey Jr. What's up, Rich?
What's up, listeners and viewers?
Dana Abercrombie.
You said my name right again. Thank you.
Nice, 2 for 2. And Big Ricky.
If at first you don't succeed, try again, and again, and again.
Oh, shit. Yeah, this is take number 42. That's right, people. All right. And we are here tonight to talk about night one of AEW's Fyter Fest 2020. So it's been broken up into 2 nights, not like WrestleMania. These are not back-to-back events. Night 1, July 1st. Night 2, July 8th. So we will return for that July 8th version pay-per-view or whichever, or just night. I don't know. It's weird because it's on TV. It's on Dynamite. So it's an event, but it's not a pay-per-view per se, right? I mean, people can't buy this. That's not an option.
You call it a special event.
Yeah, it's a special event. It's like a mini-series, right? We got these mini-series, so it's like, there we go. Special live event, from what I understand. It's live, so whatever we're about to talk about, there's 5 matches on night 1. Card subject to change with all the craziness currently going on, so hopefully what we talk about, the matches we talk about, do take place, and these are the matches that are still scheduled by that time. So, yeah, we'll get into that. But first, let's start talking about some of the news that's been going on. Because there's a lot of news. But as you know, we changed up our format. We're only going to cover 3 major pieces of news. Because there's just too much now. Too much. I mean, that could be its own show. And everybody already knows where to get all that stuff. So we're just going to just spit 3 of the big ones. If you know it, you know. If not, surprise. So, Dana, what do you got?
All right. So first off, we have was breaking news about 2 hours ago that Velveteen Dream was involved in a car accident today. He is okay. He was released from the hospital. Everything is going to be all right with him that wise. Other than that, he looks like he is very close to being fired by the WWE. If you don't know, there's already a lot of allegations that's flying around, but that's not the root of the problem. It seems that he is having a lot of backstage incidents involving other wrestlers, and basically his attitude in general is just something that is not the corporate wants to deal with. And it just looks like either if he doesn't straighten up and fly right, then he's going to be sent out the door and packing. Also, on top of that, as you guys already know, there's been a ton of allegations surrounding him. And right now, even though everything is just alleged, we don't know. No one's released a statement fully about that. But that's what's going on in the Velveteen Dream situation there.
That's sad. I'm disappointed. I'm just disappointed. Yes. I had high hopes for Velveteen. The character, everything that's going on, it was just on a roll. Our main concern was just how the main roster was going to treat him, and we were hoping he would just stay in NXT, but now it looks like he's having his own issues.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate. And then he's very young still. He's in his 20s.
He's like 23 or something like that.
Yeah, and he has this amazing gimmick and just really great ring work. So it's just sad and unfortunate overall.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. What else?
Those who don't know, kind of WWE is going through his entire hot mess, where there's been over 30 people reportedly have contracted COVID-19, which, if you saw SmackDown tonight, really messed everything up. You have Renee Young she revealed that she was diagnosed. Kayla Braxton got it twice. Jamie Noble has it. One of the WWE producers also has it. And right now, everything has just been a mess. They released statements, WWE, saying that they take their safety of their wrestlers very seriously. They're going to start doing COVID tests, because remember, this is only kind of the second time they've done a COVID test since the entire pandemic. So they're going to start doing COVID tests every day before shows, and see how that's going to work out. They're still doing tapings. In regards to Vince McMahon, he stated that he wants to run indoor shows with paying fans in the arena starting in late July or early August, and which is very interesting because what has been alleged is one of, I think last week when they had the show, remember when the Street Profits came out and was dancing, one of those fans ended up contracting COVID-19. So that's what's going on with that whole situation.
Wow. That's, that virus is destroying everything pretty much. It's causing havoc in every industry. This is, oh man, I don't even know what to say. We've heard,
I was gonna say Vince wants to open up, get the fans in there with a late July, early August. I want to win the lottery and retire at a young age. Does not mean that it's going to happen. I really think that if you look at, especially with sports, and how late that they're doing things, it's not looking good as far as getting things back open up for the wrestling industry. We don't know how long this whole thing's going to last. So
the only sport league that I know, at least in the U.S., we know elsewhere some of the leagues have started without crowds, but at least in the U.S., MLS is starting next week or the week after. It's in July. I think it's around July 8th, and they're doing a tournament, and there's no fans. So, but they're starting up just to do the tournament, and that's how they're going to end out the season. They're just going to do this big tournament. Man, this is a mess. It's a mess. Who knows when it'll pass? So that way, Vince is going to say what he can. We would all like to go to events again. Yeah, we all want that. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, like you said. So it's wishful thinking, and I'm all for some wishful thinking right now. So, all right, what's the third one, Dana?
All right, so we're going to leave off with some happier news, some news that's, should put a smile on everyone's face, and that's video games. It was recently that Aubrey Edwards, remember the referee from AEW? Well, she is more than just a referee. She has a very extensive career in the video game industry, and she has revealed that she is working on a video game, the AEW video game. It's in development right now. We don't have a title. We don't have a release date. We don't know the consoles. We don't know anything. But she did reveal that we are getting a video game. And she's been talking very much so with all of the wrestlers to know what it is that they want, what they don't want to include, parts of their character. There's been a lot of discussions on whether or not we're going to get different kind of modes. Say, for example, the Stadium Stampede. What exactly is that going to involve? Now, she, like I said, has extensive history in the video game industry. She has worked for Nintendo, Sony. She's done a bunch of mobile games. She's done PC. So she also gave a discussion along with Chris Jericho and stated that, she, because of her inside knowledge, she is able to kind of give us a video game that is not necessarily, we're going to say not going to suck, but it's going to be something that the fans really want, hopefully. And that she has studied a lot of the wrestling video games of the past, being WWE and the interesting, 2020 installment, 2019, last one?
Mm-hmm.
So 2019, and she feels that because she knows of where it went wrong, she is able to avoid the pitfalls of that. So for the moment, it's going to be an in-house.
2019 of what?
What was it? 2K19?
Oh, 2K20. 2K20. 2K20 is the one that pooped the bed. The one that had
right.
That had Roman Reigns on the front with Becky.
Yes. That went well. So because of that, she has knowledge of that. And also, on top of that, if you are an independent fan of video games, Virtual Basement has announced that they have a video game that is in the works as well. There's been kind of some discrepancy on the talent that is allowed to be involved, but they are working on a video game that is set to be released on next-gen consoles, so most likely it'll drop in 2021. And they have kind of like that opportunity, because we know that WWE is not doing the 2K series right now. Everything is kind of on pause because it was not great, and we have that other one that's coming out later this year that really isn't getting any kind of promotion. WWE really doesn't do a huge promotion on their video games until it's like a week or so until it drops. But there will be wrestlers from various independent companies, and unless they pull out. But so far, it's going to be a very interesting game. They said that you're going to have the opportunity to create your own custom wrestling company, and you'll have a wide variety of wrestlers that you'll be able to work with.
See, now the funny, just to go based off of what you said with the companies telling them to pull out, because I remember with Impact, even Ring of Honor, a lot of these guys are traditional, the wrestlers are traditional contract workers, not like the way WWE sees it. Contract workers are allowed to do other projects, other things. They're contracts. They just come out, they do their shows, and then when they go out, they get to do events and other promotions, anything to help their character and their brand. So I'm surprised that, especially with Impact, telling these wrestlers, "Oh, we're going to pull you guys. You can't be part of this project." Why? I'm sure those deals were made individually with each wrestler to make whatever money they can outside of Impact. What's the big deal? Impact doesn't have a game coming out anytime soon that I know of.
No, they don't. And they kind of asked its talent to back out of the video game. They didn't necessarily, demand that they do it. And the way how the industry is right now, go do your video game and get your money.
Yeah, and it helps. And let's say you're a fan of just wrestling games. You pick it up. You see certain wrestlers, like, oh wow, that's an interesting looking character. Maybe that might entice you to go look them up online and say, oh wow, he actually wrestles at Impact, and I can watch those. It could help as a promotional tool. I don't see a downside to this.
Well, they never really officially commented on the matter, and again, it's kind of like, please don't do this. But the way how things are going, we could easily just, see something happening. And I don't really see TNA or any other company wanting to stop, for example, Enzo from premiering in anything.
No. Oh, well, that was some good news. At least we get some games, a lot of wrestling games coming out.
Each character will be hand-drawn. So unlike the other ones, it's a hand-drawn game.
Hand-drawn game. All right. Well, in the world of wrestling games, the one that I'm really hyped for, I think we're all talked about we're hyped for, is Retromania. That should be coming soon. So we're excited about that. Take a look keep track of over at the Koalition. We have some plans to work something out with the developers. At least we're trying to work something out with them. See if we can get something going with that. And all right, so that was the news. And for the night 1 of AEW Fyter Fest, we got 5 matches. A lot of tag team matches, but that's cool. I like tag team. Tag team matches are fun. So the first one, match number 5. Boom, boom, boom. We got Private Party with Matt Hardy going against Santana and Cruz. I've watched some of the build-up with this. I'm still not sure what's the story with Matt Hardy. I get it. They're bringing him in. They're making it seem like he's helping him out, and the whole thing is being real positive. I feel like there's something else going on. Something's brewing. I feel like Matt Hardy is going to double-cross him in some way. I don't know.
There's like 80 versions of him.
That's what I'm saying. There's something else is happening. I feel we're going to be surprised with something. It's just some feeling I got. But Ricky, what do you think of this match?
I mean, I do think it's interesting that having the whole thing with Matt Hardy having like multiple personalities, like the same way that Mick Foley had Dude Love and Cactus Jack and Mankind and everything. As far as him like setting up for some kind of double cross, if it happens, I don't think it's going to happen like at that match. But yeah, could happen down the line. But I think it'll just have to be a higher profile match. With all due respect to the participants. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna go off of that. Yeah, you're right. I don't see it linking, at least with this match, because what's he gonna do? Join Santana and Cruz and the Inner Circle? I don't see that happening at all. But something about it, I don't know. When I see these promos that they work with them, And like you said, with all the personalities, something's going to happen. It's brewing up for something to happen. All right, but you can keep going.
I mean, it could be like one of those things, and I'm mentioning someone right now that's going to be featured on night 2, but like the whole thing with Colt Cabana and like why is he working with the Dark Order but not officially in the Dark Order? It's that kind of thing where the show will leave you guessing, like what are these wrestlers' motives, and would they turn, will they not turn? It's good to kind of be kept on your toes.
That's good booking. Good booking.
Yeah. Keeps you guessing. As far as the match itself, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going with Proud and Powerful, Santana Ortiz.
That's it. All right. Proud and Powerful. I keep forgetting that name. So you're going with Santana and Ortiz. All right. Richard, what do you got for this one?
Well, I must admit that...
you're a little loud.
Very loud.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything to my settings.
Oh, all right. Now it's lowered.
Okay. Well, I personally must admit, I have not been watching AEW, so I guess I am.
What? That's a pass next, Dana.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. No, but you know these two teams, though. You're familiar with.
I'm familiar with both of the teams, but I was going to say I guess I am in the minority of the people that you can blame when you say the ratings are dropping at AEW because I have not been watching. But I will say this, based on what I have known of both of these teams when I was watching, I feel like the Proud and the Powerful, a very talented tag team. I feel like the Inner Circle is a group, but they have lost entirely too many matches from what I have seen when I was watching. So I would want them to win so that you can prove that this is the team that you brought to AEW in the first place. I mean, I feel like Private Party is cool, but I mean, these guys, I really don't know. I really haven't seen what they have been doing with them. I mean, they haven't had a run at the tag titles yet. Proud and the Powerful haven't had a run at the tag titles either yet. But Proud and the Powerful obviously is a team that was highly coveted when they came to AEW.
Yeah, they're LAX.
So I feel like, So I feel like if you want to do something with this team, they're probably the team that should win this match. That's just my personal opinion.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump in for a second about Santana and Ortiz. That I remember. I think what was it? Full Gear. That was in November, I think. A pay-per-view that AEW did, and I remember a promo that Santana and Ortiz cut. That it was such a babyface promo. That's
it was talking about their life. Yeah, their life story and stuff. It's rough with the. I think was it Cruz talking about his dad or Ortiz?
Ortiz? No, it was Santana. Santana was in the lead up to his match. In the lead up to his match with John Moxley, he talked about his dad and how his dad was blind.
Yeah.
And I just remember just watching the promo and just being like, wow, like I want to pull for Santana. And I'm a Moxley fan, but I want to pull for Santana. Like he's someone to root for. And so I feel that with Santana, the Inner Circle's going to break up eventually. And when they do, Santana and Ortiz, they got to be baby faces, and I think they would be very much over with people. But for the meantime, they got to be heels, I guess.
I remember when they aired that, and I found it very curious because I'm like, well, you're promoting this team as a heel group, part of Inner Circle, but yet they're giving this very touching backstory that they know is going to connect on the heartstrings of fans, and they're going to see them in that babyface view when they hear this. I'm like, oh, like you said, it's like, oh man, that's that story, that life story, that's sad, and I go ahead, I want to see you succeed. So it's interesting that they decided to air something like that at this point in their career in AEW. In AEW, I could see that later down the road, like you said, if they break up and then they decide to go their own path, they could definitely go down the babyface road, and then this can come up. But it was interesting to bring it up at the time that they did. It's like, oh, well, all right. Because it's not like something we found online or anything. No, this was on Dynamite. They aired this. It was like, oh, everybody watch this. This is a little interview, their backstory. It's a touching backstory.
that's something that's a credit to AEW is that they're very much they're very much in tune with the smart crowd and everything. They know that the audience is in on it for the most part. So they do what they can to kind of blur that line between kayfabe and non-kayfabe, or, and what have you. So it looks like they're open to, and I know that Cody has said in interviews before that's like, we're not gonna try to convince you to pick a side. We're gonna present it the way we present it, and you can root for who you want, and things like that. And that's such an example right there, where even though Santana and Ortiz do like despicable things with the inner circle, you'll get this promo where it's like, wow, these are actually stand-up guys, and it could be a little disorienting because it takes you out of it in a way, because you're thinking like, oh goodness, like these guys need to get their comeuppance, but then you see like, okay, they're not so bad. So that's why I think they'll turn babyface, eventually, but it won't happen just yet. I still think, like, going back to my prediction, that they'll win. They're much need of a win because Inner Circle's been struggling.
Yeah, that is true. Dana, what about you?
First of all, I love both the Private Party and the Santana, Ortiz, and the dude. I'm sorry, Santana and Ortiz. The thing was, here's the thing. Remember Matt Hardy, and remember the last time we kind of saw them was during the Stadium Stampede, and they tried to
drown him in there. Yep.
And so we might get a new version from that because, they essentially killed him in a weird way. So I see some kind of interference from Matt Hardy, which will be a new version of that. They could easily go speaking of Mick Foley, they can have a weird thing where he is both the heel and the babyface, and he'll start trying to help both of the teams.
Like a Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he can easily start doing that and then help both of the teams. And they work really well with Matt Hardy anyway.
I could see that.
So in regards to who will win this match, I kind of see Private Party. Even though Santana and Ortiz are amazing, I think Private Party kind of needs this more. And if they have Matt Hardy down there, the pure distraction of it could cost them to lose the match.
Yeah, that's true. Because what I was thinking also with the Matt Hardy when I mentioned it before, I'm thinking, what if he goes crazy or something happens in between and he doesn't know what's happening because he blacks out when he switches to the different personalities that he has. So like, hey, you just cost us the match. You tripped up so and so. It's like, what do you mean? You don't remember? You just went and I didn't see that. No, I didn't do anything. I've been standing right here the whole time. Maybe they do something like that. That could be fun. But I'm going with Santana and Ortiz. I agree that after the Stampede and all the stuff, they need to get some wins back, and especially in that group, the Inner Circle. So I definitely see them getting the win on this one, and I think Matt Hardy's going to have a big part to play because they do mention that he's going to be there at ringside in support. So something's going to happen with him. Something's going to happen. All right, the next one, also a tag match. This is a fun one also. Jurassic Express versus MJF and Wardlow. I'll go first with this one just to get this one out of the way. I'm a big fan of Jurassic Express. I think they need to get that push. It hasn't really happened for them. I want to see them move up within the rankings of the tag division. And right now with MJF doing the whole thing with Wardlow, it's not really a tag team. They're just being put together just to feud. It's just to progress this whole connection and things that they have with Jungle Boy and MJF. So I'm just gonna go with Jurassic Express. They're gonna get the win. It'll be a fun match, a lot of good spots, but that's my pick. So we'll start off with Rich. What do you think with this one?
Well, I didn't know that you were a huge fan of Jungle Boy.
Oh yeah.
That's interesting. I had no idea.
I'll show you the tattoo next time.
So even though I haven't been watching, I definitely did get a chance to see his match with Cody a couple weeks ago.
Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I certainly understand that they want to do something with him, well, with that team in general, and I'm totally fine with that. The question I would ask is, do they want to focus on doing something with him, or are they focused on putting the money on MJF? Because I feel like MJF could lose this match, and he doesn't really lose anything because
Yeah,
it's a
that's what I'm
tag
saying.
match.
Exactly.
It's not a
tag
singles
match.
match.
And he's not. It's
Yeah.
not a real tag team, so it's not going to impact them in the standings. And that's why I bring up the standings, because AEW said they're following their standings, their point system on their website. So then it really doesn't hurt them. But on the other hand, it will hurt Jurassic Express because they are a tag team. So this will count as a loss when it comes to them trying to earn a title shot, tag team title shot.
So, in other words, knowing that information, yeah, I guess I would also have to say Jurassic Express is probably who's going to win this match.
There you go. All right, Dana, what about you? What do you got for this one?
Okay, so I love Jurassic Express. I love the fact that Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy, probably wouldn't be given any a huge opportunity solely because of their size.
Oh, and just real quick to add to it, it's Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. Marco Stunt is going to be with them, but he's not part of the tag. He's not doing the tag.
Partake.
He's just going to
partake.
No, he will. But I'm just saying because sometimes they rotate it around almost like New Day with certain things. So yeah, it's not. It's just going to be Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy.
He'll be there at ringside.
Oh yeah. No, he is. But he's just not in the match. He's just not part of the tag thing. All right, you go.
Right. But I love either way. I love what they're doing with this group. I don't feel that what is Warlord. I don't feel that he is someone who. Yeah, I really feel like he should be kind of paired with Brian Cage or something. I just don't really see him. MJF is just a mouthpiece for him. Yeah. And without him, he just doesn't really have that much of a shine. He's not someone that I'm like, oh my God, I got to go and watch.
I think that's why he's in this match, though, because they know people want to see Jurassic Express, people want to see MJF, and then it's like he's that odd person in the group. It's like, who's this guy? Well, now you're going to know who he is. I'm sure he's going to have some shine time, so.
It's weird because personality-wise, you figure MJF is so darn arrogant that he wouldn't want to be partnered with anyone. Mm-hmm. So it just seems to be like a weird pairing. But again, he's the mouthpiece, and he can get a lot of people over just by breathing. In regards to this, I do see that. Well, see, here's the thing. I would easily say that it would be MJF and Wardlow, but Luchasaurus is massive. And I could easily see a match between him and Wardlow. So in regards to that, it's going to be really interesting. And plus you have MJF and Jungle Boy going back at it again. And I really liked their previous match that they had that no one seemed to like. I thought it was really great story building. And even though MJF won, it still kind of proved the tenacity and spirit of Jungle Boy. So in regards to who I think will win, I'm really pulling for Jurassic Express because I feel that they need it a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. I think they do need it. All right, so you're pulling. I think we're all on the same boat with that. Richard, what about you? You're also pulling for. Richie. So Ricky.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's right. Because I'm rotating it around, and that's when I just realized, I'm like, wait a minute. That's it. So, all right, Ricky.
Yeah. So I'm going to confess something that it's kind of echoing Rich from earlier. And it's that
tell me your problems, son.
I have not been watching much AEW recently.
Are you
I've been watching
kidding me? You love AEW. You love Moxley and Friends. This was your show.
I absolutely love Mox. I love AEW. I love what they've done. But I'm going to say that ever since the lockdowns, that NXT has been putting forth a better product, in my opinion, as far as like how storylines are being presented and what have you. Like I feel as though out of the two shows that AEW is missing the energy of the fans the most between the two. I feel that NXT.
You do?
I absolutely do. I feel that NXT is on point as far as presenting what the feuds are and making you invest in those. Whereas a lot of times I watch AEW and like it's just like a big mishmash of different like you're gonna fight this person for whatever reason. And like I'm there's a few feuds that I can follow, but some of it just like it's just all over the place. You build up a guy like Lance Archer as a big deal, and now suddenly he's relegated to AEW Dark. Like I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I don't get it. I don't get it.
He'll be featured on night 2, thankfully. But but to get back on track here, yes, I still keep my ears to the ground when it comes to AEW. I still try to keep up with stuff. So I'm aware with MJF and Wardlow that they've been kind of teasing a breakup between the two. Like the reason Wardlow is with MJF is because MJF like he could get anybody over, and Wardlow is someone that could kind of get the could benefit just by association with MJF, and he's the muscle, he's the Diesel to MJF, Shawn Michaels in that regard. But it seems like they're kind of teasing dissension between the two, and that's why I think that they're going to have Jurassic Express win this match and continue that tease where Wardlow or MJF is going to mess up for the other and cost them the match, and like Jurassic Express, like they need some signature wins and to get back into the title picture. So I'm going to agree with you all on Jurassic Express.
All right, so we all agree Jurassic Express needs this more, and it just makes sense on paper. It makes sense on AEW's paper. It makes sense because they have the stats, and it's all about tag teams and stats. And last I checked, MJF and Wardlow are not officially a tag team, so they're not on that list. All right, match number 3. This is a women's title match. It's Hikaru Shida versus Penelope Ford with Kip Sabian. So that is the title match, female title match. And now, if I remember right, Shida, she just won this title. She just recently obtained this, so I don't see her dropping it. It's too soon. I don't, and that's why it always throws me off, especially when they put against a worthy contender or someone that they're giving a big push like Penelope Ford. I'm going to keep saying Cruz. Why do I want to say? I'm thinking of the actress. That's why I'm like, where did they get Cruz from? Oh, that's right, the actress. That's why I keep saying that. So I think I'll just jump off first with this one. I just think it's a no-brainer. She's going to retain. Sheeta's going to retain. I don't see it. Yeah, there's going to be... Kip is going to interfere. There's going to be a lot of the shenanigans that you would expect in something like this. But I just can't see it. It's too soon. So that's my thing. She retains. Sheeta retains. All right, Dana, you can start first with this one.
I really like Hikaru Shida. And I am pulling for her. Although it seems that Penelope Ford doesn't really have much to do of what we've kind of like seen so far. She's always paired with QT. Mm-hmm. And it's like that weird makeout session every time the camera pans to them. And I'm not really sure what
sucking face.
Yeah, which is why I'm really shocked she's here, like on the show, because QT Marshall is quarantined.
Well, that's again questions. We got a lot of questions and we have no answers. So keep going.
So yeah, I'm shocked that this match is even still going. But with that said, Hikaru, she's amazing, and she has just recently won the belt from Nyla Rose, and I don't see her dropping this. Not right now.
Yeah, it's too soon.
I just think that there was more kind of character development with Penelope Ford, because I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I feel like they're focusing more on Kip than they are of Penelope with the whole thing, and it's kind of odd with that. But whatever. All right, so there's your pick. Retain. I think we agree with that. Richard, what about you?
Yeah, I also agree that she is going to retain. Um, I know the AEW is working on the women's division, so I'm very curious to see what happens when they get some of the other women back that are currently injured. Um, Chris Statlander, that obviously was a significant injury
Yeah.
for the division because this is probably somebody that should be in this type of a match.
Yeah, they put a lot of work into her when they picked her up from Impact. They had a lot of high hopes.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
And
Kushida
Baker.
definitely going to retain. Oh yeah, and Baker too, especially.
Uh-huh.
But although Baker is now, and I guess in a feud with Big Swole, so hopefully they're also
Even while
going to do
injured,
something.
that was hilarious. I don't know if you saw that when she was on like this pickup truck in her back with her on a chair. And she's starting all this stuff, and Swole is following her, and she's like, "Back up the truck, back up the truck." It was like,
They put her in like a plexiglass casing.
yeah, it's funny. It's
She's
real
the
funny.
best character, and she's not even wrestling.
Exactly. See, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. All right, Ricky, what about you?
Hikaru Shida, she has been booked strong ever since coming into AEW, and rightfully so. She's excellent, and she was the one to take down Nyla Rose, and so I don't think that Penelope Ford's the one to really take it off of Shida, especially this early. This is kind of just a match to try to highlight both women, and of course, Kip Sabian will get involved at ringside, but I think Hikaru will retain, and I'm glad that you guys mentioned Britt Baker, because again, even though my viewing of AEW has been limited, I've been paying close attention to her antics. And she's one of the best things happening on the show right now. And it's a shame that she got injured, but my goodness, she's just been knocking it out of the park. And I'm glad that even through injury, she continues to entertain, on a week-to-week basis. I think she's hilarious. So, and Big Swole is a great one to have a feud with, because Big Swole will compliment Britt as far as the feud goes and everything. So
I think Britt is out for a few months though. This is it's gonna be interesting to see how long they could drag this out, because the last I heard it was like 6 months.
She announced actually that she's gonna be back for All Out, and that's Labor Day weekend.
Okay. All right. Well, wish her all the best. All right, match number 2. Cody with Arn Anderson versus Jake Hager. Now, it doesn't mention if Jake is coming down, but I'm assuming he's coming down with somebody else from Inner Circle. There's no way he's just walking out there solo. That's not how factions work. You always roll deep, right? That's the whole thing. And this is for the TNA Championship title. Bing, 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 bing. I got a lot of issues with this one, so I'll just start with somebody else. Yeah, Rich, go ahead, do this.
Oh no, I know. I want to hear what the issues are first.
My issues with this, Cody has his title. Okay, they made a whole big thing. I don't know why, but in my mind, Cody is going to keep this for at least 5-6 years. I just don't see him losing his title. It's just, maybe it's because of his role in the company, and it's a prominent role in the company backstage. I don't know what it is that I feel, or just the way he carries himself in and out of the ring. And I feel that the point is and it's a valid point, is to put prestige on a title, right? Whenever you get a new title or an existing title, you're trying to put some prestige onto it, you then just have someone who has the title and retains it and defends it for a long period of time. There you go. Now it's a quality title. So whoever wins it, it's like, wow, you finally did it. You took the king of the mountain off, blah, blah, blah. I think Cody has put himself in that position. So he's going to retain this for a while. He's going to keep this belt, at least in my view. I think he's going to keep it for a while. And for him to go against Jake, I feel that Jake, there was a lot of promise with him to be his own man and to make it up within the rankings. yeah, he's part of Inner Circle, but still he has that MMA background. They kept advertising he's his own guy. He's quality. He doesn't need anybody. It's the way they were always advertising him. But when you see something like this, I feel like whoever they put in front of Cody is just being fed to Cody. That's where I'm getting at. And if that's the case, you could have put somebody lesser in the card, lesser within the AEW food chain, and try to keep Jake up top, unless they plan on using this as a stepping stone to build a feud, which I don't see. I think this is just a match that they're building up, and Jake is a worthy opponent, but I think it's too soon, only because I don't see Cody dropping this title. And when you see that this is a title match, not a singles match or throw in a gimmick type match or something, no, this is for the title. Because the way we usually see it, and maybe it's just my WWE programming in my head, to quote our boy Dan from the platform, we used to always say, is that WWE programming, is that when you eventually have a title match, that's the finale of the feud, right? You had all the crazy gimmicks. You had a singles match, right? Then you had a no holds barred. Then you had a backstage brawl. I mean, you throw in whatever gimmicks you want, but then it's like, all right, you really want my title? Then now we're gonna do it. Maybe we'll do it in a cage, whatever. But here it's just a standard match, but fine. But it's for the title. So this is it. This is the big one. And I don't think Jake is gonna get it. I think it's gonna be Cody, and I think it's gonna be Cody for a while with this one, because remember, he can't compete for the main title. That was how they played it off way back, if people remember. It's like, if he loses against Jericho, that's it. He's not ever going to go after that title again. So if that's the case, then it's going to just be this title. And then again, you want to put the prestige onto a title. It is a new title. It makes sense to have the first champ have a good run with it. So my only concern was using Jake as a stepping stone, in my opinion. I see it, and I think that's not right, because then if that's the case, it sort of throws Jake back into his position when he's with WWE. That was the same role that he played with We the People. He was quality. He got over with the crowd. He had a good gimmick, but he never won any of the big ones. Solo. So later, after the We the People, yes, at the beginning he did win a title and the whole thing, but then after the We the People with Cesaro, and then he started going solo, it just didn't go well, and then that's when he decided he wanted to leave. It was his choice. He left, and he ventured out and did well for himself. I'm happy. I'm a supporter of Jake, so that's why I have my concerns with this. But yeah, I see Cody retaining. It'll be a quality match. They're both quality competitors. I'm sure there's going to be some interference from somebody from Inner Circle. There has to be. Usually I would say it's Sammy, but Sammy's suspended, so that's not going to happen. So I'm going with Cody, not by choice, but just by design. That's just how this usually works. So Cody. All right, Rich, now you know my piece. What's your story with this?
All right, so I do have a controversial statement to make, but let me first go ahead and say this. Pretty sure the match will be good. Cody always has some pretty exciting matches. And, of course, Jake Hager, there's been a lot of mystery about what he was going to do when he came to AEW. So I have no doubt that the match is going to be entertaining and go back and forth. Now, this is where the criticism comes in. The reason I don't care about this match is because I look at this match and I say, oh, it's a WWE match. Cody Rhodes versus We the People, Jack Swagger. And again, it is no disrespect to AEW. As you said, Adam, I agree 100% with everything you said. Cody is not going to lose the match, obviously. But I feel like when he loses the belt, it should be to somebody they are building up as a star. It shouldn't be to someone else who we already know had a successful career in WWE, so on and so forth. So I hope that's what the plan is, because the plan should be in wrestling to build new stars, not always rely on people who have already become stars as the ones to carry the torch and just keep everything going. So I hope that when Cody eventually loses, it's to somebody who they are actually building now as a star of the future.
Oh, like the person we just mentioned that he wound up squashing. when he won that title.
Yes.
Exactly. That's the issue here.
I mean, the thing is, that should have been a feud right after that because just like shout out to Miss Dana Abercrombie in the interview she had with Cody. I could have swore there was mention that Cody said he would love to have another go at Archer. So I don't know why that's not a feud now, because I don't know what they're doing with Archer right now.
There has to be something that we don't know. Something going on in the background. Maybe they feel he's not at that level when it comes to promos, but I don't think it matters because he's got Jake Roberts talking for him. That's money right there. I look forward to seeing those segments with Jake. So it can't be that, and usually that's the issue, unless it's personal, unless they think he's green and he can't hang. But he's proven himself in Japan. He has the quality, in-ring quality. I don't know. It's just so weird that he fell off so quickly.
Oh, yeah, I agree. So hopefully they have a plan for him. But, personally, I think it's very obvious Cody will retain because, number one, it's too soon for him to lose the belt. And number two, I would think that they have a much bigger plan in mind for when it does come time for him to lose the belt, that it will be actually to a credible opponent. So we'll see.
All right. Now, Dana, we'll jump to you on this one because you did do an interview with Cody, and you talked about his career and things going on with this. So what do you think regarding this match?
I think all of y'all on drugs.
Okay, thank you. Now, Ricky, now that she thinks of it.
Crack is whack.
Crack is whack. I don't do that. I had the T-shirt.
First of all, We the People was a terrible gimmick.
No, it wasn't.
The whole was awful.
He still does it. In fact, he still does it when he wins his matches in the MMA, when he did at Bellator. He puts his hand across his chest and still says, "We the people." And the crowd reacts, and they chant it.
And it sucks.
Oh,
and
boy.
It reminds me of other chants that people do.
I'm going to be editing this part out. Keep going.
Secondly, again, I don't know what drugs y'all are doing. Jake Hager is boring.
Oh.
Yes. He's boring. He's just boring. He has no personality. The only time in his entire history that I felt that they brung out somewhat of a personality that made me really entertained was during Stadium Stampede. That was the only time. Again, he's boring. I don't feel that he deserves this shot because he's boring. When
I realize a pattern with the wrestlers that you say are boring. You don't like genuine athletes. You like gimmicks.
I don't like boring
when gimmicks
people.
are attacks to someone, then you like them. Because you don't like our boy Bobby Lashley, friend of the show. Thanks for watching, Bobby. You don't like him. He watches, he listens. He sent me a tweet one time. Listen, you don't like Bobby, and Bobby's quality. And also, he's a guy who also comes from MMA. Do you not like MMA? Is that it? Like, is that taboo for you? You find out they did some MMA, and then now it's like, you know what? You got the stink. I don't like you.
Really? Because, no, you're wrong. Here's the thing. I don't like people with no personalities. So you come in there and Goldberg doesn't have a personality. Not a fan of Goldberg.
That's okay.
Not even a great technical. No.
I think we all agree on that. It's all right. We accept that.
So there you go.
You can't put him in the same category. Goldberg only knows how to do like 3 moves. Hager, he knows he's a well-trained wrestler, amateur wrestler also. He can do holds. He can go. He's trained.
He can go and he is trained, but he is also boring.
What is it boring? What is that boring? What do you want him to do? Look at the crowd? There's no crowd. What is it that you want from him?
Make me care about the match. Give me psychological. He is just, move, and he's great, and he's great technical, and he knows what he's doing, but there's nothing there.
Okay, so you're going with your boy Cody. I see how this.
I'm not done with my rant.
Oh, okay, keep going. Just keep spewing.
Is that with Cody Rhodes, I strongly believe that he got the belt because you need that name in a company. But I easily see him dropping it, not to Hager, because again, no. I see him dropping. I don't see him someone who is like a Hulk Hogan in the sense of gimme, 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 I want everything. It's my company. I see him doing what is necessary to get the company over. And then once that happens, they're able to proceed and he can take that back row lead.
I agree with that, and that's why I'm saying that he's going to keep this belt for a while to put some prestige on it. But the issue I had is that why Cody? Why not put it on a new guy that we're not familiar with, that we don't know? So then that way he builds it up, so it's all new and fresh with that guy. Like a Lance Archer, perfect example. Big man, let him win. Let someone try to knock that big dude off the top, because whoever does that is going to get even more respect because he's so big.
Well, I do see that the feud going again because Cody, in the interview, stated that he wants another go at Lance Archer. I don't see a problem with that. Lance Archer right now seems to be dealing with anger issues over an AEW Dark. And I don't know what they're doing with his character. But the last thing I heard, I saw him almost try to kill Sonny Kiss.
Well, things happen. Times are hard right now. Frustration's coming out. So
frustration is everywhere. But I see Cody not for 6 years, him retaining. I see him maybe for a year, and then him dropping the belt.
You don't see him doing a Bruno Sammartino?
He's not
Rest
doing
in
it.
peace. If he was alive, he would be a friend of the show too, fellow New Yorker. Thank you. But then he moved to Canada and sold out. But whatever. Whatever. I'll edit that part out. Keep going.
Louise, no. He's going to drop the belt, not to Hager. Again, I want another match with him and Archer. I thought that match was brilliant. I loved it very much. Yes, I believe Archer kind of deserved it, but in terms of money and viewership, it was fine.
Okay.
So in regards to this match, it's going to be Cody retaining and Hager continuing to be boring.
Wow, that hurt. Okay, so Ricky, what do you think? Do you agree with all of us that it seems that Cody will retain?
Yeah, I think Cody's going to retain. I don't think Jake Hager's the guy to take the belt off of him. This is I view this similar to how I view the AEW women's title match, where the opponent is there as kind of a filler, but Hager has enough he has enough experience in wrestling and with Cody that they can put together a solid match. I do want to address a few things with Cody and Hager and even with Archer. I'm gonna echo Dana's sentiment with Hager in regards that he lacks charisma.
Thank you.
He lacks charisma. He's lacked it ever since the Jack Swagger gimmick, and it. And
one second,
honestly,
wait 1 second. I'm setting up a cue to the timestamp so I can edit this out. All right, keep talking.
I'm speaking sexually.
Keep talking.
But no, and I'm telling you, and this is my other controversial thing, is that Cesaro is the reason why We the People was over, not Swagger. But getting back to AEW on all of this, Hager's a solid enough opponent, but he's not the guy to take the belt off Cody. Cody, as far as him being the TNT champion, I understand the decision, and that's so, like, I would have preferred Lance Archer win it for the reasons you guys have stated, that you're introducing a new title and you kind of want to introduce a star. You want to have an upstart.
A new star, yeah.
Yeah, a new star. And Lance Archer has been killing it, in New Japan for years. And even I was oblivious to his work until is coming to AEW, and he's impressed me. And he ran through everyone in that tournament until the end. And I felt that him being paired with Jake the Snake Roberts was like they're going to push this guy to the moon, because Jake is the perfect mouthpiece for a guy like Lance Archer. And he was going and making things personal for Cody and all that. So, like, I agree that feud needs to resume at some point. But as far as them putting the belt on Cody, The only reason why I can see why they did that is because if we're being frank here, they really sabotaged Cody at the beginning of this AEW run because they've had him lose just about every big match that he was in. So he was due to have an important win because he was just losing feuds.
You sure? I thought that was Kenny Omega that was doing all that. I'm pretty sure he didn't get a win until like 3 or 4 months in.
Well, look at it this way: like Cody had the chance to win the AEW title against Jericho, and he blew that one. And then he had a chance to get revenge on MJF, and he blew that one. And it's like it got to the point where you could not trust Cody to get the blow off, the big reward for that build up. So him winning the TNT Championship tournament was like, okay, well, this is just a reminder that he is a big deal in this company. He's not just someone that's there to just put people over. You got to pay attention to him as well. He's still a legit talent. So I get that. My fear with Cody is him holding that belt for too long. Now, I say that as far as like thinking in perspective of like, like he's going to get stale because it's going to be predictable that he keeps winning all the time. But they might be turning him heel. And this might be the intended effect of getting people sick of him, because at the beginning of his TNT Championship run, where he was defending it every week, he was defending it against baby faces. He was defending it against favorites and beating them, and that's something that heels tend to do. And granted, he's a fighting champion and whatever. But and I'm sorry, I didn't mean this to be like a whole like rant about the belt as opposed to the match. But I felt like it's important in the context of the TNT Championship that consider the direction that they're going with Cody here, and that's why like he's gonna drop that belt to someone else, someone other than Hager. But it's gonna mean something when it happens. It's gonna be someone important. Will it be Lance Archer? That depends if they're going to keep Cody as a face or if they're going to turn him heel. I'm not sure what they're going to do. But I hope they revisit the Cody and Archer feud down the line. So yeah, long story short, I'm just going to say Cody retains.
All right, so we all agree Cody is going to retain and become champ and be the Bruno Sammartino of AEW. He'll have the title for as far as we can see. He will run over everyone. We'll see it in a Blu-ray box set, the best of, and it'll just have everybody, looking at the lights. All right, so next is the main event for Night 1, Fyter Fest 2020. It's a tag match for the tag team titles. It's Kenny Omega, Adam Page versus Best Friends. You excited? Is everybody here excited? Is this
I'm the only one excited.
You're the only one excited. The only thing it's funny. The only thing I'm excited about regarding this match is to see what happens with Paige. I'm waiting for Paige to self-destruct. I feel like this is when it happens. So I'll just give my prediction real quick. Once they announce this, I'm like, this is the time for Best Friends. Best Friends are going to win these titles. That's it. Because Kenny Omega, Adam Page, that was a put-together tag team. That's not, to me, that was never an official tag team. These are two great singles competitors. They don't need us. And then with all the issues that they were hinting with Paige, having a drinking problem and the whole thing. And remember at the stadium, he showed up with his horse, which is awesome. And where was his horse parked? In front of the bar and all that stuff going on. So I have a feeling this is it. This is going to be that turning point. Something's going to happen here. Then Kenny Omega and Paige are going to have this massive feud. This is it's going to develop from this match. But I see Best Friends walking away with the titles. That's my prediction with this one. Dana, you had some issues, so now I'm going to give you the mic. Go ahead.
Here's the thing, and I don't know why people are not understanding this. Adam Cole Not Adam Cole. Oh my
Whoa,
God.
whoa. Be careful with the
Wow.
Adams.
I meant to say you, Adam, and then somehow Cole got stuck in there. Here's the thing. Kenny Omega and Adam Page, I don't know where I got Cole from, Adam Page are great friends. We all know this.
Yes.
And if you watch any of the episodes of Being the Elite,
Yes.
which they took down and have to reshoot because of what's going on with Joey Ryan, but in those episodes, you see their weird bonding thing and their weird toast with the beer and the milk and their continuation of that kind of friendship. I like them together. They work wonderful together. I love the horse thing together. In regards to Paige kind of acting weird, because you remember he's off Twitter. He kind of semi-deleted his account. We don't know what's going on. There are some rumors that he's changing the Hangman name due to certain events that's popping off.
I remember when he would pull, because he used to have the noose, and he would hang people over at Ring of Honor, and sometimes they would cut it off. They would think, oh no, we can't show this. Oh, he's hanging them. Oh, they would do that whole thing, and I'm sure it was for the gimmick and to help sell it. But still, I'm like, man, you had this guy come out with a noose, and he was hanging people over the top. That was kind of crazy.
So he may just go as Adam Page and cut the whole Hangman gimmick, which, you know, is something that needs to happen. But I feel that they don't need the belts. They work fine without the belts. They work great separate and together. Best friends, which I just absolutely love. They need this more. And their whole gimmick, and I'm not sure if you even saw the whole promo that they did last week about the whole best friends and who's the better best friend, which was brilliant. Again, they have really great promos. But I feel that best friends need this more. It would help, you know, to not necessarily say elevate, because they're already really popular within AEW, but it's just something that's much needed. So I'm going to go with them.
All right. Rich, what do you got for this one?
So those were both very good explanations, you know, from Dana and as well as you also, Adam. Here's what my thought is. I don't know how popular the best friends are in AEW. Maybe they are, you know, the most popular
Cassidy,
team.
so I'm sure they're very popular because Cassidy, he's blowing up online.
Yeah,
I mean,
Cassidy.
people that don't even watch wrestling get a kick out of that and get a kick out of the whole best friends promo video where you see their hands touch and they're like.
Oh, you're talking about Orange Cassidy.
Cassidy, yeah. He's part of the crew. He's still there. He's not. Well, what they have here listed is that he's not going to be a company.
No, they gave them the customizable doll with the hands in the pants because fans asked for it so much.
He's got his own thing going with Jericho.
Yeah. So.
So, with that said, you know, I could certainly agree that it would make sense for the best friends to win, but I do want to make this comment, and I feel like when Adam Page turns on Kenny Omega or vice versa, I personally think, and this is just my opinion, I think AEW wants a crowd to be present when that happens for the reaction. So I don't think they necessarily this needs to happen right now. It can be delayed further because I thought this was going to happen a while ago and it hasn't happened yet. So I personally think it doesn't need to happen at this moment in time. But I also agree that they don't need the tag belts. So, you know, I kind of feel like it can go either way. But if you ask me who do I think is going to win for the sake of moving forward, it really depends on how popular the team is. Because, like I said, I don't watch AEW, but I can tell you right now, the teams that you've already mentioned, Private Party and, you know, Pride in what is the name again of the team?
Proud and Powerful.
Proud and Powerful. That's it. Thank you. I know who those teams are, and I question why one of those teams hasn't won the tag belts yet. Because in my opinion, those are teams that definitely should be in that discussion. So obviously, it hasn't happened yet. So it is what it is. But personally, if I had to make a pick right now, I would say Yeah, I guess best friends are gonna be the ones to win it. But I still don't think this breakup between Paige and Kenny Omega is gonna happen yet, because I feel like that's a big moment.
But
Similar to what was said about Cody. I don't think that they would let him lose that belt and all this stuff happens when there's no crowd, no live crowd in there, because it's about the reaction from the crowd as well. But that's, again, this is just my opinions. But
see, the
continue.
problem with that is that, and we always hear about that, and we heard it even with Drew over in WWE with the whole title thing. We don't know when crowds are going to return. So we can't just say, it's not one of those things, well, we know it's coming back in a month. We don't. So they keep pushing something off like this, and then that could actually damage the storyline if you keep dragging it out. So you have to just look past them and say, hey, we just got to go forward with what we plan on doing with the storyline. If this person's going to drop the title or they're going to retain or whatever, we have big matches planned. We see it going on with Hollywood with some of these movies that we talked about off air, and how they just keep getting pushed back. Oh, well, because they want to be put in theaters. But even then, when that happens, we don't know if people are just going to run out to the theaters to see these things. So is it really hurting them because they're pushing it off? Because then the interest and the hype just dies out? And the same could happen with these wrestlers. You keep pushing it off like, oh, I know they're going to win. This guy, or I know this tag team's definitely going to win. But, well, I heard they're waiting for a crowd. They want that reaction. I was like, ugh, why? And then when it finally happens, it's like, who knows how many matches they've already had, how far the feud's already gone, to the point that no one cares.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Okay. So I forgot. What was your prediction for it then? Do you think they're going to retain Kenny Omega?
Oh, no. I said.
So you think that they're going to lose to Best Friends?
Yeah, I said best friends are probably going to win, but but the question that I would like to ask all three of you, especially for you and Dana, who have been watching, is Best Friends the best tag team that the AEW has right now? That's the question.
It's not so much that they're the best, but they are definitely over. They're over. You can see it on social media. They've been over all the way back when they were in PWG. They were super over. Cassidy has helped them big time. Trent did a few great solo matches for a little while. He was doing some solo matches, and he was proving that he could hold his own. So it's a quality team. It's not one of those where, oh, they're not deserving, or, oh, no, they're not going to win, like what we've talked about with some of the other matches. Oh, this isn't really going to happen. No, I could definitely see them winning because they have everything in their favor. They're accepted with the community. They're a quality tag team. They're great solo wrestlers. It just makes sense, as opposed to the Kenny Omega and Paige. Yeah, off air, they're awesome friends. That's fine. But they could also still work a feud together. They can enjoy working together. I mean, we see that happen all the time. So I could definitely see them self-destructing and say, all right, you ready to do a program? Yeah, we're going to do a program. All right, now spit at me. Here we go. And then that's it. And then Best Friends can move on to help out one of the other teams that we talked about before with Santana and Ortiz and of course, Private Party. Because right now it looks like Private Party has slipped down to the point that they are not slipped down is the wrong wording. It's more of they are being portrayed as the young guys. They're the young guys. They're up-and-comers. When they did that whole little segment a few weeks back with Matt Hardy, and they were like, oh, we're super fans of, you and your brother and all that stuff. We watched them growing up. We want to follow in your footsteps. And that's what led to this partnership, this friendship that they have. So they're putting them in that boat. If that's the case, then it's going to be a build-up. They're slowly building them up. But with this one, with Trent and Chuck, they've been around for years as a tag team. Best Friends, that's been their thing for years. So, and like you said, the AEW, they play up to the smart marks. They know that what we know. They know that we watch all the programs, and they know that we follow these wrestlers and other promotions, not just in WWE. So they also know that this is a quality tag team that is deserving of having a title run here in AEW. No one's going to look down on it. And of course, like what you mentioned for night 2, and we'll talk about that next week with Cassidy and Jericho and all the stuff that's going on. It's interesting to see how he's being put in those high-profile matches. For a guy who likes to put his hands in his pockets, and do that whole thing.
I can't explain it. It works, and it's brilliant. You know he can wrestle.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. And he can wrestle. And he's part of this crew. So that's what I'm saying. It's like this crew altogether is getting a major push.
Yeah.
So if they lose this, let's say if we flip the coin, it's like, all right, let's say they lose. Where do they go from here? That's always the issue when you have a title match, because the title matches, that's it. You go to the top, and if you treat it like other sports, where if you go to the top, or at least fighting sports, if you drip, then you have to fight your way back. You don't get the instant rematch unless it's boxing and it's a big money fight. Most of the time, you have to do like 2 or 3 fights to just earn that spot again. And so if they lose, then what?
Well, they also won the tag tournament though, right? That was why they got this opportunity.
Yeah, they got the quality. Yep.
So let me just end off what I was going to say and just say they will definitely win then, but I still say this feud between Kenny Omega, this is going to be this is going to take a while to develop. I don't think you're just going to explode right after they lose the match and then all of a sudden they're fighting each other. I think this is going to take a while to build up because that's a story all by itself.
Okay.
But yeah, that's good.
Right.
That sounds good.
Ricky, what about you?
Man, a lot of great points from everyone, and I'm glad that I've had a chance to listen and think about it, because during one of our 50 different takes, I did a really quick prediction and just said, "Oh, Kenny Omega and Adam Page will just retain." I'm going to change that to best friends, and here's why. The fact that best friends won the tournament to earn the spot, it shows that they're quality. They're a real tag team. They weren't just thrown together. They have that connection. And really, WWE needs to take notes, because this is what a real tag division looks like. It's so deep. And Kenny Omega and Hangman were thrown together, and they're an excellent tag team, even with them being kind of like the odd couple, in some ways. And I see a bunch of other promising tag teams that could get the belt later, but I think that the focus now will be with best friends getting it, because I've already gone and predicted that all these other belts are going to be retained. There has to be a title change somewhere, and so I think that if there's a chance that tag title match main events night 1, then it's going to end on a high note with new champions. As far as Kenny and Paige go, I agree that if a heel turn's going to happen, it should happen in front of a crowd. I still remember during a recent pay-per-view they had when there was still a crowd. That moment, and this was such a cool moment to me, when Hangman was outside the ring on the ropes, and it looks like he was setting up for the buckshot lariat, and the audience picked up on it, and you could just hear the audible gasp, like, "Oh my goodness!" Like,
oh yeah,
people
I remember when it looked like he was going to do the double cross.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was watching it, and my eyes started to open. I'm like, "Oh my god!
It's gonna happen.
And then it didn't happen. And then it's gonna happen. And the thing is, I think they're booking this brilliantly, in the sense that they've had us waiting for the turn to happen, and now they've made us comfortable, because okay, these guys are working together now. They're on the same page and all that. They've worked through their differences. They'll lose this, and I don't think that that's going to cause any big commotion there. They'll probably still have tag matches together. It's the turn's gonna happen when we least suspect it. But I'm hoping that it will be when there's a crowd present, because it's something that deserves the reaction, and that will lead to a big feud between those two that would be major. But I think that this is a great opportunity for the best friends to be rewarded, and to get the tag titles, have a little run with it, and then you have a chance to have others like the Lucha Brothers and FTR in the picture, maybe even Young Bucks. There's so much potential in that division.
And just to point this out because, again, this might just be my WWE brainwashing, but usually when you have this many title matches, you have to have at least one change hands. We have 3 title matches on this card. We've already predicted that 2 are going to retain. One of them has to go. So this would be the one that could definitely switch. So that way the talk of the night is like, not that, oh yeah, this one retained, that one retained. It's like, hey, did you see? Best friends won. There you go. So, Dana, this is it. What you got?
We did best friends.
You picked it? I didn't remember if you did yours.
Yeah.
I thought you did. There you go.
Everyone did. I was the last one.
You were the last one. Damn it. There you go. All right. We're going to do the predictions again. All right, Dana. What do you... No, all right. I'm just fucking... All right, there we go. All right. So, see, look at that. See, we're on a roll. All right. So, there you go. That is night 1. So, night 2, we'll come back for that one. Remember, everybody, that is July 8th. This is all going to be on TNT. So, you do not have to go find it on some pay-per-view service or sub-service. There you go. You can just go on TNT and watch Fyter Fest, which is still interesting. Fyter Fest. All right, well, that's it. Let's see if we have any shout-outs. I'll just do mine real quick, just to say, hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for participating in the wonderful world of wrestling with all the craziness going on. Thanks for supporting the Koalition or following us on YouTube, but definitely go on Koalition. Plenty of content. We're still out there hustling, getting other game content reviews. Dana's talking to celebrities and doing all that stuff in Hollywood, which is still trying to figure out what they're going to do. A lot of good material out on the site, so go check that out. And, yeah, that's on my end. Richard, you got anything you want to plug, say?
Oh, yeah, no, I just want to give a shout-out to everybody who continues to support the site. Give a shout-out to everybody on the team, all creating excellent content. And, of course, give a shout-out to everybody that was on our show tonight. Dana, Ricky, and yourself, Adam.
Yeah, that's me. Yep. All right, Ricky, anybody who wanted any shout-outs?
Oh, yeah, I absolutely... First and foremost, shout out to all the listeners. You know, you help us keep going with this. It's always a lot of fun to talk wrestling with this group. You know, you guys are great, but you know, we need the support of everyone. So much appreciated. Definitely follow the Koalition on social media. Constantly giving out great content with wrestling, video games, entertainment, whatever you want. You know, we're just here to have fun, and yeah, just looking forward to the next WrestleCast show.
There you go. All right, Dana.
Thank you to everyone that's listening. We do have a lot more interviews that is coming up and down the pipeline. So, yay, wrestling!
There we go. And big shout out, of course, to Gary Schwabe. Yeah. So, Thanks to everyone, and have a great and safe weekend, and enjoy Fyter Fest Night 1, and we will be back next Friday for Night 2. All right, peace.